Hey, welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today we have our Black and Gold Standard Podcast draft big board for the first round. So, like I was saying before, what a lot of teams do, they do it for the whole draft. So they'll have rounds 1 through 7, and they'll just rank the players. And then as a player get taken off the board, you cross them off. So in the first round, um, say well the Steelers got the 21st pick. So they're going to rank those guys 1 through I went 1 through 32, and then when they get so as the players get drafted, they'll just mark them off, and then once they get to their pick, they'll see that most teams they stay strictly to their board, so they would take the highest ranked player of need. So I'm just going to kind of go over my big board. And like I say, right now it's real fluent on what the Steelers are going to do in the draft. We're going to really have to wait until free agency starts and see what moves they make in the free agent part of this offseason. And that will kind of dictate what they're going to do in the draft. So right now, to be honest, is all just a big throwing the dart in the air and see where it lands, because to be honest, it's kind of hard to predict right now, because there's going to be a lot of moves that maybe dictate that this position is not important anymore or not as important anymore, and that'll change who the Steelers are going to draft. So like I say, right now it's just a crapshoot, but we have to really wait until free agency start and see what moves they make. Then we can have a better idea of who we think that the Steelers are going to draft. And that's why I'm going to be honest with my mock drafts, they're going to be all over the place. Now, like I say, once free agency kind of get going and the Steelers sign some guys, those few mock drafts before the draft, those are probably would be a little bit more realistic as far as what we think the Steelers are going to do in the draft. But with that said, let's go ahead and move right into it. And Mendoza, I mean, we already know that he's going to be the number one pick. So obviously, if the Steelers was some kind of way get to the number one pick, this probably would be the pick. He's the number one rated quarterback at this point. 6'5", 225 pounds. He's not a super mobile guy, but he can move around in the pocket, and he can make plays with his feet. So he's mobile enough. The only thing that kind of scares me about him is just the fact that it's just that 1 year deal. That kind of makes me nervous. I mean, he showed that he's a winner and a great leader, but I just be a little nervous with guys who only started 1 year. That's just me, but that just kind of put a caution for me a little bit. But moving right on, my number 2 ranked guy, Caleb Downs. I think he's the he's the safest pick, I think, in this draft. If somebody said, "Hey, pick a guy that you would almost guarantee that he's not going to bust out," I would probably say Caleb Downs. Now he's a safety. I don't really think, or I don't want to put that him being Ed Reed or anything like that. I just think right now he's a true football player. He's smart, a sure tackler. So I think you're definitely getting that right off the bat. Um, so I don't know, because of his position, he may drop a little lower than what people have him. Because he's not, I mean, to be in showing my age, but he's not a Sean Taylor to me. Um, but he's like I say, he's just a great football player. He's a guy that's going to make sure tackles, and I think drafting him, you pretty much know what you're getting. Spencer Fano, left tackle. I think, eventually he probably gets some more weight put on him. He's only like 302, 6'6", 302. Um, I think the weight part will come. Great feet, and he's gonna be a, a 15 year starter at left tackle. Plug him in, starter as a rookie, and it's gonna be a great pick for somebody. The number 4 ranked guy, I got Ruben Bain. Kind of, he's one of those guys they say kind of got short arms, but I think at 6'3", 275, he's a monster. He's a monster. He's good at stopping the run. He can get to the quarterback, and I think he has a very bright future. I don't really know how he really would fit with the Steelers in that 3-4, but he's gonna go very, very high in this draft, I think. Mansour Delane. I think he's a top corner. I could see him being a top 10 pick, 6 foot, 190 pounds, very physical. Um, coming out of LSU, they usually have good corners coming out of there, and I think he's gonna keep that going. He's gonna be a kid that probably gonna be a starter right off the bat. He still got a little things to learn, but a big time player, big time player. The next corner, Jamar McCoy. I think the knee injury, so I don't know exactly where he's gonna be by camp time. But again, 6'3", 193 pounds, big time corner. I think he's going to also be, if he's healthy, he's probably going to be a starter from day one, and he's going to make some defense very happy. You can basically put him on an island and let him go. This is a kid that I think could end up being a Pittsburgh Steelers if some things work out. Mikal Lemon, 5'11", 195 pounds. I want to see where he truly measures at. Is he 5'11"? Is he 5'10"? So that's gonna be his biggest question of how tall he really is. But great hands, great after the catch. Great leaping ability. So yeah, his vertical is going to be important too. But he's a guy that I'm very excited about. That hopefully that if stuff falls the Steelers' way, and the Steelers maybe need to move up a little bit, they may do it. But he's definitely a guy that I would love to see in the black and gold. Jordan Tyson, another wide receiver, 6'2", 200 pounds. Another great athlete, great leaping ability. He got that size, 6'2", 200 pounds. Probably a little better route runner than what you would think. Decent speed. Again, he's going to be a guy that at the combine, when he runs, just depending on what he runs, that's probably going to really knock him out of range for the Steelers, I think. Carnell Tate. A lot of people got him as the number 1 receiver. I got him number 9, 6'3", 195. My only concern about him is his speed. What is his true speed going to be? So I'm very anxious to see if he runs at the combine. He may not run at the combine. He may wait to run at Ohio State. I mean, we all know Ohio State got that super fast track. So he may wait to run at Ohio State and maybe not run at the combine, but we'll see. But I think that's one of the things that people are kind of questioning, or I'm not even going to say questioning, but just want to get some hard data on, and is probably his speed. I mean, his catch radius is great. The kid does everything what you want out of a wide receiver. It's just I just want to know what his speed is. Arvell Reese, linebacker. I got him as the 10th rated player. May go way higher. He may be the second pick in the draft. Um, Probably going to be an outside linebacker, 6'4", 243 pounds, very athletic. So I can see a team really jumping on him early. Um, Again, he's one of those guys that can pretty much do everything. Never had to take him off the field, and so that way you can do a lot of stuff with your defense. Um, People gonna really be. He's gonna go high. He's gonna go high. I think he's gonna be out the reach for the Steelers. So if the Steelers was even thinking about getting a linebacker, they won't be getting him. Francis Maragor, 6'6", 315 pounds. Now his problem is he's kind of like Will Campbell, got the short arms. He's a tackle, but he may have to move inside and play guard because he got the short arms. And I just think with the struggles that Will Campbell went through and the Super Bowl really exposed that, I think teams are going to rather just move him inside instead of trying to put him at tackle. And he has great feet. He have great arm movement placement, but he just got those baby arms, and that's what Will Campbell had. And a lot of people were just saying, he's so good of a technician that he can work around that, and it showed in the NFL. It's not happening. And Will Campbell has some tough games, and a lot of it was just due to short arms, So I think that's going to be one thing that may discourage some teams, may drop him a little bit, but I think eventually, he's going to have to be a guard. David Bailey, 6'3", 250 pounds, another linebacker, going to be like an edge, very physical. This is going to be a guy that, depending on how it shakes out, and if the Steelers decided to do something with Patrick Queen, his position coach is the Steelers outside linebackers coach now. So I'm quite sure for one thing, the Steelers going to know everything about him, and I'm quite sure he's going to be jumping on the table to try to get his guy if he drops a little bit, and he's in range of the Steelers drafting him. Kedrick Falk, defensive end edge out of Auburn, 6'6", 285 pounds. Again, I got him ranked 13th. Another guy that just probably would end up going higher than what he probably should. But everybody want an edge. Everybody wants to get a guy that can get to the quarterback. And that's the name of the game. So a lot of these edges are going to get bumped up and taken a little higher than what a lot of people probably think they're going to go. Ty Simpson, quarterback, 6'2", 208. The thing with him is his first 8 games or so, he was the number 1 pick. And then he kind of ran into a little spell right at the end of the season, and that kind of took a lot of wind out of his sails. But this is a guy, I think just because of there's really no quarterbacks in this draft, first round guys. I think it's only 2. I think he's one of them. I got him ranked 14th, but I'm quite sure he's going to go higher than that. Just for the fact of, this just a kind of I don't Well, as far as first round quarterbacks, it's only two guys, so he's gonna go pretty high. But again, he may be a guy that's lingering around. If the Steelers, I don't know how the Steelers feel about him, but if they feel highly about him and he's around this 14, 15, 16, somewhere around in there, you can see the Steelers make a move and move up. But I don't really think that's going to happen, but you just never know. Denzel Boston. This is a guy that I really think has a great chance of being the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got him 15th, 6'4", 209 pounds. I've been watching more of his film, and I've been liking him more and more. Um, just great radius, catch radius. Um, Seems to be a little faster than what I thought. So he's going to be another guy at the combine. Just depends on where he runs. Now, if he goes to the combine and run a 4.4, a 4.43, or something like that, it's going to be a little tough. It's going to be a little tough for the Steelers to have a shot at him because there's so many teams that want receivers. Um, I think the Cleveland Browns is one of the teams that needs a receiver. They got 2 first-round picks, so they're definitely gonna snatch one of these guys for sure. So Denzel Boston, like I said, I think this is a guy that has a great shot of maybe being a Pittsburgh Steeler. But the combine is gonna dictate a lot with him and how fast he runs. Jeremiah Love, running back, 16th. Again, this is another guy. I don't really see the Steelers um in the market for a running back, but at his talent, and if he slips, you never know. You just never know. The Steelers may take a chance at him. If they did, I would be shocked. Like I say, first round running back at this point, I don't really see the Steelers in the market for that. But if they did, it would work. I mean, he would definitely be the starter. You move Warren to the number 2 and let Gainwell walk. But I don't really see that happening though. The number 1 guard, um, Iwane, Vega Iwane. This dude is a monster. Um, this is another guy that I think could really be a Pittsburgh Steelers. They could definitely jump up and snatch him. I think he's going to be around this, probably around this area right here where he's going to go. And so that's in striking range. If the Steelers got a high enough grade on him, and they decide they rather just go with a rookie instead of maybe signing a guard. But like I say, this is where I was saying free agency will really dictate a lot as far as what the Steelers are going to do, because I think they're probably going to go for a free agent guard. And so if that's the case, they probably won't draft another guard until later on in the draft. But if they don't go that route, they may want to draft one. Sonny Styles, another linebacker, 6'4", 243 pounds. I think he's going to be right around where the Steelers are at. So the Steelers are going to have some opportunities if they want to go linebacker, and they feel like, because I'm quite sure the coaching staff, what they're doing right now is probably going over all the games, and each coaching staff is looking at their positions and seeing guys of how they want to play. Do these guys fit? And if they feel like some of these backers that the Steelers have, including Patrick Queen, they feel like he doesn't fit, they may want to go with a younger guy. So he's going to be right around that ballpark, I believe, if the Steelers want to go that route. Cassius Howard, 6'2", 248 pounds, another one of those defensive ends, edges that like I say, I think teams is just gonna take chances on these guys because you always want a guy that can get to the quarterback. Um, I got him ranked 19th. So again, I don't really see him as a option for the Steelers, but he's gonna be a guy that probably gonna end up going a little earlier than the draft than a lot of people would expect because they, like I say, these teams want they want a quarterback, they want guys that can take the quarterback down, and they want receivers. That's like the number one thing in this draft. This is another guy that I think could be in the play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Courtney Hood, cornerback, 6 foot, 188 pounds, very physical. Actually ended up having to take over as the number one corner in Tennessee. Held up pretty well. I got him ranked as the 20th player. I think this is a guy that you would maybe think could go in the second round, but I think he's probably gonna get pushed up. I think a good combine and a good pro day could push him up into the first round. And I think he's a possibility for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right at 21, Kalen Proctor, offensive tackle, 6'6", 366 pounds. His weight kind of scares me a little bit, but he's a great athlete, great feet. Definitely, I think he's gonna have to lose some weight a little bit, trim down a little bit. But he's a massive guy, long arms. Definitely good in the run game. Well, I think he could be better in the run game. He kind of struggled in the run game, but Alabama whole offensive line struggled in the run game for some reason. I don't really know what was going on there, but he's the guy that he'll be right there in that ballpark with the Steelers draft. And if they want to go offensive tackle, which I don't really think they do, but he's a guy right there. TJ Parker, another DN edge, 6'4", 263 pounds out of Clemson. Again, this is a guy, he could get pushed up. I think he's more of a second round guy, but like I say, with these edges and DNs, a lot of these guys are going to get pushed, especially if it's a run start. So if a run start, you're gonna have some teams that's gonna kind of panic and wanna get an edge, and they're gonna take a guy a little early. And I think he's one of those type guys that could find himself at the end of the first round or definitely at the top of the second. Peter Woods, defensive tackle, 6'3", 315 pounds. I got him ranked 23rd. Is he a nose tackle for the Steelers? Really not sure. Excuse me. I'm really not sure, but again, he's gonna be one of those guys that could kind of these defensive tackles are kind of tough though, because unless you're really special, it's a lot of teams may wait. So again, he's another guy that could go late in the first round or early second. Avion Terrell, corner, 5'11", 180 pounds, out of Clemson. Another guy that he could end up sneaking into the first round. I got him ranked 24th. Very solid corner. Not the biggest guy, but he can get the job done. And again, he's gonna be a guy that he end up could find himself right around this area of the draft, or he's definitely gonna be a high second round pick. Casey, man, I don't know what's up with that hair, man. But anyway, this kid is it's gonna be. I don't know about Mr. KC here. Some days I watch his film, I like him because he started off at NC State. Um, then some days I watch his film and then I don't trust him. So I don't know. But I've seen a lot of mock drafts, and they had him going in the first round to the Rams. Um, Great punt returner, kind of on the small side. So you're gonna have to look at his measurables and see how he ends up. But I don't know about Mister KC in the band. Um, just something about him. I don't know, but again, he's one of these situations where these guys could, get runs on receivers, and he could be another one of those guys that could get pushed up, and we'll see. But I don't really have a good feeling for him. I don't want the Steelers to draft him. I just think he's definitely a slot receiver, but I don't know. I just think his career is not going to go as good as some people may think. I don't know. CJ Allen, linebacker, 6'1", 235 out of Georgia. Um, he's kind of a thumper. He's one of your thumpers. I got him ranked 26. I think I think he's going to stay in the first round, and I think he's going to be like right around this area here. Really not an option for the Steelers, I don't think, but he's definitely going to be a guy that's going to get into the first round. Caleb Lomo, another offensive tackle, 6'6", 304 pounds. He's the right tackle. Again, probably got to get a little stronger. He may. I don't really think he's going to be a day one starter. He may be, but he's definitely got to get stronger. Great feet though. Great feet, long arms. He's going to have a long career. Like I said, I think he's going to be a right tackle, and I think he's gonna push himself and keep himself in the first round. Caden McDonald, defensive tackle, Ohio State, 6'3", 326 pounds. Again, I think by the end of the first round, I think he's gonna go. Could be a pick for the Steelers, maybe. I don't think so. Like I say, with them defensive tackles, unless some teams really think that you're special, um, it's kind of hard for these guys to go in the first round now because you don't want to get a guy that you just playing for 2 downs and you wasting a first round pick on him. So I could see him going right at the end of the first round, or definitely getting bumped up and going in the second round, high in the second round. Kayon Sadiq, 6'3", 245 pounds. Probably the best, not probably, the best tight end in this draft. He's a great catcher. Definitely gonna go in the first round. I think one of the, probably right around this area here. So a team that really needs a tight end, he's definitely gonna be your guy. And I can see him staying in the first round. I think he's gonna run well. If he has a good pro day catching the ball, he should make it rock solid that he's gonna be a first round pick. R. Ransom Thomas, another edge, 6'2", 249 pounds out of Oklahoma. Kind of iffy here. I got him right at 30, so he could actually maybe bump out of the first round, but he'll be a high second round pick. Again, a guy that can get to the quarterback, and that's what, like I said before, these guys got a lot of value because that's what teams want. They want guys to that can help the quarterback by catching the ball, and guys that can chase the quarterback down and get him on the ground. And that's one thing that he can do. So he's really a question mark if he's going to stay in the first round or move into the second round. Joshua Joseph, another DN edge. I think again, you're gonna hear me keep saying it. These guys are valuable in the NFL. They want guys that can get to the quarterback, and I think he can do that. 6'3", 240 pounds. I'm almost more convinced that he's probably gonna bump down to the second round. But you never know. Like I say, it's going to run somewhere in this draft. It's going to be a run on edge guys, and when that run comes, teams lose their mind and they end up maybe snatching the guy that you say, "Wow, I thought he would go in the second round," and before you know it, he went 15th in the first round. So I think Joseph could be one of those type guys. And the last guy, number 32. Bizzle, wide receiver, 6'5", 200 pounds. I think he's right on the cusp of staying in the first round or definitely being the second round pick. Big guy, kind of more a slim guy, tall guy, kind of slim. He's only 200 pounds, but he's gonna be a guy that somebody's gonna take a chance on him. I hopefully it's not the Steelers, but he's definitely going to somebody's going to definitely take a chance on him. Again, he probably going to bump down to the second round and be a high second round pick. But a lot of things that can help these guys is the combine. The combine is going to make or break a lot of these guys. And if he goes out here and he runs real well at 6'5", somebody's going to take a shot at him in the first round. So that is it. That is our our first round big board. So I hope you guys got a little something out of it and just got a idea of kind of what we're dealing with. And like I said, this thing here would change a lot. Some of these guys, especially once the combine happens, which is coming up shortly, some guys are gonna really lock themselves in and being a first round pick, and you're gonna have some guys that gonna drop and maybe even drop out the first round. So, like I say, as things go, it'll come more clear, and we'll see things a little better once these pro days and combines and all this type stuff is done and over with. And then, like I said, depending on what the Steelers do in free agency, that's gonna matter a lot. So, with that said, make sure you like and subscribe, comment. I try to get to all the comments and answer them and reply to whatever you may send. So make sure you comment. So until then, you guys take care, and I will talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.